Welcome back to Schenectady Today. If you're just joining us, I'm John Cancio, your host for this edition. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Next, I'm very excited. We have Psychic Ravenwolf on the show. Thank you. And I'm kind of known for having psychics, so we have Ravenwolf on. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And you do card readings, so
yes,
tarot card readings.
Yes,
right?
I do.
Okay. How long have you been a psychic?
All my life.
All your life?
Yes.
And how did you learn you were a psychic?
Well, I found out that my great-grandmother was a psychic and my grandmother, and I actually had a chance to sit down and talk with her. And she had revealed to me that she had known about it, but was less than forthcoming because she wanted me to sort of find it on my own.
So you believe it's through genetic?
Yes, definitely.
Really? So your grandmother was a psychic, your mother was a psychic?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
So what was that like, growing up in a household of psychics?
It was different. I sort of kept it to myself, and there wasn't a real term for it. So when I came into my teenage years, I tried to do and find out for myself, and then my grandmother told me about it. So she was sort of the guiding light when I had a chance to tell people.
Do you feel like there's a stereotype that goes along with the word psychic?
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God. I think it's been so played out because of the people who've hurt the business. You know, people like Miss Cleo and the other people who put a bad name on it and bad spin on it.
So you consider yourself a legitimate psychic?
Legitimate, yes, because I think that the people who want to go out there and do the right thing want to help people, not to charge money or to make a killing like the Lions do. I just don't agree with that.
So I come to you for a reading. What do you specialize in?
There are quite a few things I've learned to do over the years. There's everything from psychometry to...
What's psychometry?
Psychometry is being able to read something. Usually a person's vibrations can be imbued or left on an object through time.
So if I give you like a chain or a ring or something, you can feel energy.
Yes.
And it helps you read.
It can help to focus on a question. Then there's also channeling, which I found out my great-grandmother was able to do. And that's when spirits come through.
What are you best at, using the tarot cards or a sit-down personal reading, or over the phone? What works best for you?
Normally over the phone or using the tarot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Over the phone works really well.
Yeah, it's quite easy.
Really?
It's the same premise and pretense. It's just being able to trust the cards and knowing what the person wants and being able to help them.
So you do readings over the phone then?
Yeah.
So just by someone's voice you can
by
lock
their
into
voice.
their energy?
Yeah, it's pretty easy sometimes.
And you're also a medium, so you connect with the other side. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sometimes it's hard, you know. The other side is a misnomer. I think that the spirits that protect us are always around us. We're led to believe that they're not always accessible. But even when we carry our thoughts with us, you know, that's when they're there. All we have to do is reach out. And the way that we can reach to them is through the vibrations. And our thoughts carry the vibrations through.
Now, do you do that through like a Ouija board?
No.
How does that work?
It's sort of really simple. It's if you could imagine that you were putting yourself out and just making a phone call or sending out a message. In a really weird way, I think that when you've lost someone that you've loved, all you really have to do is think about them, and they can either understand it or know that you're thinking about them. I've had a number of times when I've thought about a family member who I've been very close with, who had a strong influence in my life, and I felt their presence.
Do you speak to them?
Speak to them from my heart.
From your heart?
Yeah.
So do they send you messages?
Sometimes messages come in dreams, but they're not as concrete as you'd like them to be. So
how much of a believer are you in dreams as far as messages being sent through dreams?
I'm a huge believer in them.
Really?
I think that once you learn to access that part of the subconscious, it opens up a wealth of information and can really help to transform your life.
Okay, so when was the day you figured out you were a psychic? What happened to you? Did you just wake up one day and you're like, I'm a psychic? How did that happen?
I was sitting in my mother's, we were having breakfast one day, and I had a strong sense of deja vu. The light was shining down out of a balustrade, and it was, something was different, because it wasn't like, it felt like I had been there before, and there wasn't a cognitive term for it. And I had gone to my grandmother and had asked her about it, and she had told me what the word was, and it was a clairvoyant. So I had gone to the library and looked it up, and that was connected with the word psychic. So from a really early age, I had started to study all of those things, clairvoyance and psychic abilities. And it all sort of fell into place for me from a really young age.
And what about witchcraft? Do you ever involve yourself in that?
Wicca, I think, is misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
And Wicca is something that, personally, I believe, is a beautiful religion. That's something that is incorporated into what I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I also believe in God and angels. So
Do you believe in magic?
the quintessential definition of it is change.
Mm-hmm.
So magic in of itself, I do believe in, because there's a power and ability to transform yourself. Whether or not there's an actual definition for it
Mm-hmm.
is something else.
Okay. And I know you're gonna give a reading. We have on the couch over here. We have Landis Burgess, good friend of mine. Thank you for being here.
No
And you volunteered to get a reading today.
Yeah.
So take it away. Give
You
him
ready?
a reading.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
What we're going to do is a Celtic cross, and we had some time backstage, and I was sort of explaining to him what this is going to do. It's a 12-card spread. And what I'm going to do is shuffle the cards, and what I want you to do is cut the card into 3 piles. Now, can you pick a pile? And put that on top for me. And while I'm doing this, there's something that I wanted to say about magic.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 types of magic that goes along with psychics, and there's 2 definitions of it. There's one that has to do with an internal change, and there's one that has to do with an external change.
Mm.
Aleister Crowley was someone who defined change as the ability to transform one's life. So in that respect, I do believe in magic. And I just wanted to sort of clarify that.